So the question of what I was needing to pick up with all this weight has now been answered.
Spoiler alert, it was not me.
Bob, Bob, good to see you.
You too, man.
And we needed a little extra lift at the end there.
Yeah, we did. We did. So
I had to.
it all worked out well.
Some of you guessed it. There was a few people who guessed that it was the Japa I
Okay.
needed to lift.
Okay.
So it was cool to, people were kind of
Following what's going on.
along.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was, I was, like I said, I was a little nervous. I know when we unloaded it, what was that, 2 years ago now?
Yeah, about that.
We were able to just lift it enough to drive the trailer out and drop it down.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that was...
And the 3-point I know was never a problem to lift it, but
No.
yeah, you can't get it on a trailer that way. So.
No. Yeah, and that's actually what I did is I moved it up here with the 3-point.
Yeah.
Dropped it off, had it sitting up here, and then
Then put the ballast box on.
put the scientifically calculated amount of weight. Well, no, that was a great machine, and now it's heading
To Cloudcroft, New Mexico.
New Mexico.
A warmer climate, which I'm kind of jealous of at this point.
Especially right now. That 315, I mean, it obviously has its range of
Right.
capabilities, smaller diameter, but everything I used it on, I mean, it worked flawlessly.
Yeah.
It was,
That's cool.
and I always was asked, what's the maintenance like on it? Often you have to change the chain on the saw, and that chain on that machine on the left was the second chain I put
Nice.
on.
Yeah.
It ran forever.
Yeah.
And I never did any maintenance on it.
Yeah.
So I
It's
don't
a pretty
know.
low maintenance machine. Yeah. It's
Yeah. I never did anything. And every time I used it, it just did exactly what it was supposed to.
yeah.
Take the
That's-
log in and spit the splits out.
Yeah. That's good to hear.
I always had stuff to run through it. And I never had anything, because everyone was always say, you're splitting pine. But I never had anything that I couldn't split with it.
Yeah. Yeah. That's cool.
I did have one time with the 6-way, some oak, but that's just because it was a 6-way.
Yeah. 6-way's a lot for that small machine, but
Yeah.
it's doable with some of the species. But
Thanks again for coming over, because
thanks for having me, man.
I was just nervous.
All
I'm
right.
nervous lifting stuff up like that,
Yeah.
and I was nervous about how to strap it down,
Yeah,
tie it
yeah.
down.
Yeah. We move them every day, so it's a little different for me.
I wanted to make sure it was, because it's going a long ways.
Better safe than sorry.
So the Japa 315 Firewood processor is heading on down the road to its new home in New Mexico. The tote that was on the back of the Coyote is right here. I dropped it off outside the woodshed, and then I just moved it in here next to the boiler. But I'm really grateful, and I really appreciate that opportunity that Bob Nelson from Metza Machines gave me with using the 315 for the last 2 years almost now. It just was really fun using it. It was great to see it in action, be able to put it to use in the wood yard where I could, and just to be able to show it and bring it to you guys to see. And the one thing, the machine itself is great. Japa makes world-class firewood processors, but the one thing that really stood out in the whole experience was being able to work with someone like Bob Nelson from Metz Machines. Anytime I had a question, when I first got the machine, he had dropped it off and he did a walkthrough with it, but it wasn't until, the next day that I actually was running it. So, I had a couple questions, I was wondering about things, and I would just send him a text message and he would reply back, or he would call me, or, at any point during the entire time I had it, I always felt like if I needed to, I could just reach out and he would be there to help me or give me the information I needed. Or in the case like today, I wasn't sure the best way to secure that Japa to the trailer that the guy was hauling it off with. And I told Bob, I'm like, I'm not sure if I'm comfortable, loading this thing, making it sure it's on there the right way, or how you strap it down. And he just said, no problem, I'll come over. So it was like, over 2 hour drive for him to come all the way over here to help me load up that processor, get it strapped down, get it secured so that it could head out to its new owner. And I just think things like that really show you what kind of service you will get when you buy something like a Japa from Bob. The relationship doesn't end when you sign the dotted line and the sale is over. Like, it continues throughout however long you might have that machine. And I think that's the big thing that really stood out for me in dealing with, having a Japa firewood processor. I mean, the machine itself is great. Like I said, world-class firewood processor, but I also, when you pair that with the world-class customer service that you get from someone like Bob at Metz Machines, it's a win-win-win. It's great. So again, thank you, Bob, Metz Machines. Thank you, Japa. Greatly appreciate the opportunity, and thank all of you for going along with the adventure of having a Japa firewood processor here in my wood yard. For all of you who guessed, and I think there was only a couple of you who guessed that what I was doing with the weight on the back of the tractor, the added ballast, what I was going to be doing was going to be lifting up the Japa to load it up to head out. You were correct, so congratulations. I don't have a prize, but you've got bragging rights in the comments. So leave a comment down below if that's what you guessed, and we'll see you next time. Stay safe, have fun, and be cool.
I've been a real bad boy on the town all night.